Have you ever noticed that you know way more about the stakes of a story than the characters do? If you think about it, you know how long the book is, you have a good idea of who the protagonist is, what the plot of the story is going to be, and where the journey is going to take the characters. It's all the stuff in the middle that's exciting and you get to learn about and experience along with the characters, but at the end of the day, you know something that the characters don't. I think that's an interesting idea. I'm on day 32 of 60 of my 60-day challenge to write my first fantasy novel. And it's a problem that I'm running into right now. I just introduced some new conflict into the story, sudden, that came upon the characters kind of without warning. And although they're prepared and settling into the story to go and solve the problem, they don't know what this is. They don't know if this is the end of their story. They don't know if this is something important or if this is nothing at all. And I want to build that feeling inside of the reader. It's not even halfway through the book. The reader knows that the protagonist is going to be all right, knows that things are going to work out. But I want to build that sense of dread, that sense of urgency, that sense of uncertainty that the characters have in their story and in their stakes. I think looking around, that's one of the reasons that sort of sudden mortality scares us so much. We don't know, what does that mean? That's the end of someone's story that they didn't see coming. It reminds us that we don't know what's happening in our lives, what the future holds. And I think I want to capture that in the story. I don't want to go quite so far as George R. R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire, but I do want to have this sense of, stakes that are at every moment in the story, not just at the end. And I think it's a book to look up to in Game of Thrones and in A Song of Ice and Fire for the way that George R. R. Martin does that. I think sometimes it can come across a little heavy-handed in the series, but at the same time, I do want to capture that feeling of not knowing what's next, not knowing what the future holds, having certainty suddenly ripped away and cast aside. It's an exciting idea and something that I want to work towards. So if you want to see how it turns out, follow for more.